30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and young guns Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in on, at least for the moment, a beautiful Wednesday afternoon in Nashville from the beautiful Fordyce Center in Bellevue. If this is the first time you've seen the show in a while, this is our new permanent home, and we are proud to be here. Truthfully, we'll have an announcement today. If you're watching the show live around 2:40, that involves the Fordyce Center that I think you're really going to like. It's my kind of deal, and they're excited about it, and we are thrilled to be able to announce this. Now, I say weather-wise good right now. It's not expected to stay that way. Be really careful. If you're watching the show live, be careful tonight from about 5 p.m. on, because it could get really hairy. They're talking possible tornadoes. They're talking hail. They're talking 2 to 3 inches of rain. So it could be a little bit of a mess. So beware. Now, let's go to Murfreesboro, where shockingly, Kelly Holcomb has agreed to be on the show again. Kelly, how are you?
I'm good, George. How you doing?
Good. And of course, the much anticipated debut of Kelly's World of Football.
Finally.
3:00.
I mean, finally, let's go. Let's get something going.
You've only been here, a day and a quarter. I mean,
I understand that, but it's time to do something different. Let's go.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
So what you're about to do is cutting edge.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's cutting edge. I'm not really sure it's cutting edge, Hoss.
Whatever the hell it is, we're going to do it.
That's right.
Okay, beautiful. Let's check in quickly with Billy. Billy, this is your third day at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This, of course, being our new digs. Is this suited you okay? I mean, not that I really care, but has it?
It has, Georgia. It's cutting edge. It makes us look a little bit more professional, and it fits right in with Kelly. I mean, professionalism.
Nice.
That's what we're about.
Kelly, if he had said, well, it really isn't all that good, or it really isn't, what would you have said to him?
I didn't hear that. Say it again.
Well, if Billy had said, well, it hasn't been quite what I hoped or whatever, what would you have popped in with?
Billy, right now I'm cool with Billy, man. I don't know Billy like that. I know you like that, so that's why I rip you. I'll have to get to know Billy a little bit more, and then I'll start ripping him, I promise. Because there's things to rip already. Yeah,
already. I mean, there have been things to rip. Yesterday.
And then we're having are we having problems with graphics again? Because I said yesterday, like, what are we getting paid for, Billy?
Today, Kelly, you kept me on my toes. I'm ready to roll today. I'm not missing any graphics today. So
good.
I like
That's
it.
what you're getting paid for, big dog.
Yeah, Watson never did that, so it's a different perspective. I like it.
He's like your parole officer. Dadgum. He's been on the show a day and a quarter, and he's barking out orders. Let's get David over here to comment a little bit. You were watching the Bravos earlier. They're kicking butt.
Best team in baseball, in my opinion. So just the depth of their lineup, 1 through 9, is pretty spectacular. So off to a good start this year. Yeah. I know you're excited about it too.
Oh, I'm very excited, and I'm sure Kelly is as well. Kelly, when was the last time you watched a Braves game?
Years. When I was playing, this is really bad, but when I was still playing, they had a labor dispute. You remember a long time ago they had a labor dispute, and I was hoping that they would just cancel the season because we didn't care. As football players, we didn't really care. It would have been more money for us.
So Peyton was not a big Braves fan?
I think he was a Rockies fan because Todd Hilton was he was a Rockies fan. I know he used to go out there and shag balls and take batting practice with the Rockies when Todd Helton was there. So I think he was a Colorado Rockies fan.
Hobnob.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, you know what we do about this time. We update events that are going on. Billy, I can't wait to hear exactly what's in the update.
Yeah, we're going to get going here. The Preds beat the Vegas Golden Knights last night 3-2 in overtime at Bridgestone Arena. You were there.
I was pumped. First of all, it's the loudest Bridgestone has been in a while. The big moment in the game, Kelly, was when they there were several, but in the first period, they staved off a 5-on-3 that Vegas had. And the three that are out there, God, you feel like they're in a firing squad. Shots everywhere. Backup goaltender did a really good job. And when they basically, cleared off the 5-on-3, the place went nuts.
Well, I mean, that's a huge. It's a big underdog right there. You're 5-on-3. I heard that because I cut on the game last night. I told you I went to a game with you when I was in Buffalo. I went to a Buffalo Sabres game. It's better watching it in person than it is on TV. But when they were talking about that 5-on-3, you better have a good goalie because he's going to get a lot of shots at him in 3 minutes. So it's crazy.
The word could be pummeled.
Yes, absolutely. And he obviously did a really good job. And that's got to be such a huge psyche for the Nashville Predators when they're 2 down and they stave that off and they run out the time. That's got to be a huge boost for their team.
Big momentum deal. And then they won it in overtime on kind of a crazy deal where the puck got thrown in front of Vegas's goaltender. And now, having looked at the play, it hit off a defender's skate and went in, and asked me if I care.
No.
So, Kelly, here's where they are right now, because it's gotten interesting. If you're a Preds fan, you need Calgary to win tonight at Winnipeg and win in regulation. And then you need the Preds to win tomorrow at home against Carolina. If those two things were to happen, the Preds would be 1 point, uno, out of the 8th and final playoff spot with a bunch of young kids who have energized this thing huge. I hope some of the veterans who are hurt are taking note that, this young group is energizing big time.
Yeah, well, I saw something earlier in the year, and they said that they were out of it. Like it was like a month ago, and they said that the Preds were out of it. They had too many injuries, and it's kind of amazing what they're doing right now. Do you think they'll make the playoffs? I mean, obviously they have to have help.
Yeah, the odds are they're way less than 50-50. I don't know exactly what the hockey. We may look that up in a minute and see what the actual number is. However, it's getting more interesting. Got a week and a half to go, and I think for a Preds fan, all you can hope is that these games, these last 5, are meaningful, that they have pennant race implications, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, which is all you can ask for. When you get to the professional level and you have a chance to go further and to go for a Stanley Cup or go for a Super Bowl. That's all you want. You just want a chance, and hey, they played themselves into that.
Billy, what would item number 2 be?
Item number 2 is the John Elway news. He is no longer with the Broncos. He obviously was employed by the franchise for a while as a consulting contract ended and will not be renewed. He said the new ownership of the team puts the Broncos in good hands. His contract as a consultant expired on the first day of 2023, the NFL league year, March 15th. So he said the decision was made after a meeting with new co-owner Greg Penner, who has called Elway the ultimate Bronco, unironically. So kind of an interesting move.
Kelly, do you smell a rat?
Well, I don't think John was probably doing much at this point. I mean, was he the general manager or
at one point he was.
Yeah. At one point he was the general manager. And I really think, I mean, he was a big key while Peyton went there. And I think that, there's not somebody asked me that on the radio. I think that was a big key for Peyton going to Denver because John Elway was one of those guys that had been like Peyton, maybe not so much, but under the microscope. And I think one day if Peyton ever wanted to, pursue something like that with a team, I think he probably learned a lot from John Elway. But, when he got let go of that role, I'm sure he was – of course, I don't know. I mean, but just collecting a paycheck, I'm pretty sure. But, he is the ultimate Bronco. When you think about the Denver Broncos, you think about John Elway. I can remember when I was a kid on the drive, I can't believe that I would be playing for the Cleveland Browns one day, but, watching him on the drive, and he was never out of a game. There's not many guys that can put a team on his shoulders, on his back, and win games because he didn't have very many players. Those first 3 Super Bowls that he went to, and the last 2 that he went to, obviously he had Terrell Davis and, some guys outside with Rod Smith and McCaffrey, but just the ultimate Bronco.
I'm going to read up on the speculation because the first thing that crosses my mind is there a coach who used to be based out of New Orleans who maybe didn't want John Elway around?
I mean, that could be something. I mean, that could be weird. Something. I don't know.
That's a weird story. Okay.
That is weird, man. Now that you say that, I don't, I guess that could happen because when you bring a new coach in, I mean, he wants a lot of stuff. I can remember when Butch went to Cleveland. I mean, they gave him everything that he wanted. So it wouldn't surprise me if something like that happened with these coaches. It wouldn't surprise me with Sean Payton.
Film at 11. Here's a weird story. Item number 3.
Yeah, let's head to Augusta. According to attendees of the exclusive dinner at Augusta National last night, 3-time Masters champ Phil Mickelson largely kept to himself and did not utter a word throughout the whole evening. When he was asked about the LIV versus PGA Tour dynamics in the room, Fuzzy Zoeller, the winner of the 79 Masters, provided details about his presence. He said, "We're just 33 past champions in a room, all trying to get along. Nobody said a word about it." Phil sat near the end of the table and kept to himself. He didn't speak at all. So Mickelson, quiet.
Can you say that dinner had a little tension?
There was, and I would like to, you can tell Billy is young because he called him Fuzzy Zoeller. It's Fuzzy Zeller, Billy, okay?
Zeller, I wasn't alive in 79, so.
Yeah, we understand
that. You know what? That is such a lame answer. Kelly, that's where we're going to double team and rip him.
I'm supposed to know how to pronounce a 1979.
I mean, be professional, man. We've already seen that we'll see today about your graphics, but be professional. But you know what? I will say this, George. I have a hard time with what's going on right now with the LIV guys. I mean, I really do. Like they played in the par 3 tournament today, and all of them played together. So you can tell that there's tension there. I mean, Curtis Strange was talking about it. You can tell he's a little upset about it. I'm sure guys are not going to say it publicly, but I mean, what did Phil Mickelson make? $500 million over his career. That's all thanks to the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Like, how much more do you need? Well, I don't know. I don't get it. I think there's a little bit of loyalty that the PGA Tour deserves. But in our, I said it yesterday, in our society right now, loyalty is going down the tube and everybody's just going for the money. I think those guys have played actually 3 tournaments is what I've on the LIV Tour. So, I don't know. I just, one of those guys may win it, but hey, it's, I'm sure those guys like seeing their friends, but, they learned everything on the PGA Tour. So,
yeah, here's what it came down to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's money.
That's
Everything's
all that
money.
matters.
You know that.
What's the final note?
Final note, George, transfer portal news. Jordan Wright, of course, former Vanderbilt player, 4-year player at Vanderbilt, has landed at LSU.
Oh,
so,
wow.
That's
he's from Baton Rouge.
He's from Baton Rouge, so no surprise there. Another transfer for Vanderbilt, though, Quentin Millora-Brown, a guy that was a 6th-year player. He was going to stay. He said he announced he's going to stay at Vanderbilt, but he just entered the portal. He joins Jordan Wright, Stute, Shelby, Thomas, and Dia, who have all entered the portal. And Malik Dia actually landed at Belmont. So Vandy's got 5 scholarships available now for next year's roster. So it's up to Jerry Stackhouse to fill those holes.
Okay, after the break, Kelly, we're going to one of your old stomping grounds, Indianapolis, and talk with Bob Kravitz, who knows everything Colts wise that needs to be known. Great writer from The Athletic. He will join us after the break, and who knows, he may tell us about some of Kelly's finest moments.
Well, he wasn't. It wasn't Bob. Bob wasn't there when I was there. I don't think. I think he came in right after I left.
There weren't that many fine moments anyway, were there?
No, there wasn't. There was just some bad moments. You're absolutely right. There was no fine moments. You're absolutely right.
He can make up a couple. Either way, he will join us after the break. Stick around. We've got plenty more coming. Oh yeah, I've got to lead this off, don't I?
You've got an.
It would help if I would remember that. Yeah. Okay. Now that the NCAA basketball tournament and March Madness is over, what are you 45 million betting on? Most likely the NBA playoffs. And today at Action 24/7, use the promo code George. Yes, I have my own promo code. And get a 300% deposit match up to $20 on your first deposit. Action 24/7 is Tennessee's only locally owned and operated sports book. And you know what? There's an advantage to that. If you have a question or a dispute, these folks will get back with you in a hurry. They want to be good neighbors, and they're located right here in Tennessee. Download the app or visit action247.com to start all that NBA playoff winning. And remember, bet responsibly.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685. I know it's getting colder. You're not thinking about golf. However, if you're planning an event for next year, let me suggest golf through Riverside Golf Links. The course has improved dramatically. It's perfect for hosting a corporate or a charitable outing. They've got everything in place to make your event a rousing success. To get more info, call 615-847-5074 or go online to riversidegolflinks.com.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Well, we're headed up to Kelly's old stomping grounds, which is a lot like old radio stations of mine. Pick one. Which one is it? In this case, it's Indianapolis with the Colts. Bob Kravitz, fine writer with The Athletic, joining us to talk all things Colts. Bob, how are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing well, thank you.
By the way, you look like you're dressed for the worst of winter.
Well, it's pouring outside. So yeah, I'm building an ark.
Yeah, and apparently the ark is coming to us later tonight, but obviously we've got more important things than the Weather Channel to talk about. Right now, the Colts are sitting at a really interesting position at number 3, and so I'll just kind of toss it out there. What do you think they're going to do?
Well, actually, they're at 4.
That is right. Sorry,
but I think by the end of within a couple of weeks, they'll be at 3. I think they don't want to take a risk of losing the guy that they want. Clearly, Stroud and Young are going to go 1, 2, in whatever order. But the Colts need to be very careful that Atlanta or Vegas don't leapfrog them into that 3rd spot, because then they'll end up with their 4th choice. But I think it's clearly going to be either Levis or Richardson. I'm not sure they have reached a conclusion internally as to which way they're going to go. I've been screaming and yelling about Lamar Jackson, but I do not believe that's going to happen. I think they're going to take the conservative route and draft and try to develop their own.
Bob, if we had their brass in here and could say, okay, why not Lamar Jackson, what would their answer be?
The owner doesn't want to pay a guaranteed contract of $150 million plus. Simple as that. Down at the owners' meetings in Arizona, I guess last week, Jim Irsay made it very clear that he does have the money. He just does not believe in long-term big money guaranteed contracts. And I think that these owners, it's collusive activity, but these owners don't want to get the side eye from other owners at the cocktail party the way Jimmy Haslam has for giving $230 million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson. So I think the Pandora's box has been open. I don't think you can. I think when Herbert and Burrow come up, they're going to want guaranteed money. I think the toothpaste, you're not going to put it back in the tube at this point. But the Colts, I believe, have made the determination that they're just going to go the draft route and have 5 years of control and, a relatively cheap contract.
Bob, we've all heard the narrative on Will Levis that, his stock is dropping, that in the interviews he's been arrogant and blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's true? Are you hearing any of that from the Colts people?
I'm not, but the Colts have been pretty buttoned up about this. So I don't want to be disingenuous and say, I just got off the phone with Chris Ballard, as a matter of fact. And look, a lot of agents are doing a lot of stuff saying a lot of things behind closed doors, off the record, background, that sort of thing. And if you want your guy to move up, you're going to badmouth, Levis or Richardson or whoever it might be. So this is that time of year where everybody's lying through their teeth. So I don't think that anything, they'll make their own determination. Whether he's come off cocky or not, I don't know. He did come off as a little cocky during the combine interview, but I thought that was fine. I mean, he said, I've got a cannon, I'm ready to show it off. I mean, you got to be able to sell yourself, right? And he was trying to sell himself to the local writers and by extension, NFL management. So I don't have a problem with that, but there are questions about all 4 of the top guys. There are no sure things. This is not the Andrew Luck draft by any stretch of the imagination.
On Richardson, we've seen both sides of him in SEC country. We've seen really, really good. And then when I saw him here against Vandy, I was like, really? That's it? How do you think these teams are reconciling what they think he is and what they think he can be? Because he's shot up the board.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a workout warrior. Your guy who doesn't remember Fuzzy Zeller wouldn't remember Mike Mamula. But talk about workout warriors, Fuzzy Zoller. He's an Indiana guy. Let's get it right.
He's ripping you, Billy.
I guess I deserve it.
Yeah, kind of. I'm just jealous you're so young. But yeah, Richardson is a conundrum. I mean, he's got all the tools. He's got unique traits, out the years. But he's only played 13 major college football games. The good thing for the Colts is they do have a bridge quarterback who I think can keep them afloat. I'm not saying he's going to win them a division, but Gardner Minshew, I think, has a chance to keep them competitive while they're preparing Anthony Richardson for his debut, whenever that might come, a year, 2 years down the road. So I think, I've always been one who says, look at the tape. I don't get too caught up in shuttle times and 40 times and high jumps. When's the last time you saw a quarterback, high jump? I mean, it just, except for Kelly in his prime. So you just don't see it. So I don't know. I'm big on the eye test. I'm big on what guys put on film. I think that would be a hell of a risk. But I think with all these guys, there's a risk. And certainly with Richardson and Levis, the risk is pronounced.
This is my last question, and it's the dumbest one of all of them. And then I'll turn you to Kelly. Do you ever hear anything that says Andrew Luck is rethinking it?
No.
Really?
Andrew has gone back to Stanford. He's getting I don't know if it's a master's or doctorate or whatever he's going for, but he is done, and he's very happy with his life from everything we have heard. Wow. It's just that's past tense, unfortunately for Indianapolis fans, but you won't be seeing him coming back. And I hope that this ends up on Freezing Cold Takes or whatever that account is, but I have seen nothing to suggest that Andrew is even thinking about it.
Kelly, say hello to Bob Kravitz.
Bob, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. You and I never passed.
I know. That's what I was telling George.
Yeah.
I was telling him, like I said, Bob wasn't there when I was there. It was Mike Chappell. And then I think when I left, you came in.
I came in 2000.
Oh, 2000. Yeah, that's So I was at Indianapolis from 96 to 2000. Then I went to Cleveland.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Chap is still going strong. He's 125 years old, give or take.
Hey, is Bob Lammy still working with the Colts?
He is not. He got let go.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
So he doesn't do the play-by-play stuff anymore?
He does not. They got a young kid named Matt Taylor, doing it. I'll tell you that story off the camera.
That'll be fine.
It's a little sordid.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I want to go back, and you might not can answer this question. I don't know, but last year when they let Frank Reich go,
yeah,
I played with Jeff Saturday. I remember the first time Jeff Saturday started. It was in the Philadelphia Eagles. We were at Veterans Stadium, which is a dump.
Yeah,
and Steve McKinney had an emergency appendectomy, and they had to play Jeff Saturday. So that was just a little side note, but. You got to give it to Mr. Irsay. I know that Ballard and Jeff kind of struck it up at the combine last year and kind of, fell in love with each other. But how did that go over with the coaching staff with Jeff Saturday brought in to be the interim head coach?
Well, it didn't go well with much of anybody. The coaches were very upset. There's a reason why the special teams coach, Bubba Ventrone, he left to go to Cleveland because he got overlooked. A lot of guys were very upset. Ballard made it very clear that he was not on board with the Jeff Saturday hire. This was Jim Irsay going solo. And, look, we all love Jeff Saturday. Greatest guy in the world, wonderful football player, terrific human being. But he was in over his head. I'm sorry. I know football is not rocket science, but you need a little bit of experience. It seems to me, looking at it from the outside, and I thought that unfortunately, the team played in a manner that suggested that they had no earthly clue what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I'm with you. As a player, I was sitting here thinking when they hired him, because Marcus Pollard texted me and said, "You see your boy Saturday got hired as interim head coach." I'm like, what? I didn't, it was just wild. And I don't understand as a player how you play to that. So that was just, that was weird to me.
It was very strange, and the players look. They love Frank Reich, and had they been playing poorly, yes, and when you play poorly, you get your coach fired. So I understand all of that, but to go to Jeff Saturday when you've got Fox on your staff, you've got Gus Bradley, you've got Bubba Ventrone, you've got all those guys, and none of them want anything to do with Jeff Saturday. I mean, they were as professional as they could possibly be, but they got overlooked, and there's no way as a human being you're not going to feel marginalized to some degree.
Oh, absolutely, because you wait in the wings, and it just didn't happen. So, Frank Reich, what kind of was his downfall? Was it bringing in Carson Wentz and Matty Ice? Was that his downfall with the Colts?
Well, I think that he had a ton of power and influence until he made the case for Carson Wentz, and when Wentz was so bad. Well, he was really bad at the end of the season, I should say. He was pretty good the first portion of the year, but I think he lost a lot of juice with the owner at that point. And let's face it, they stunk it up the last two games of the previous season to fail to make the playoffs, and then they started out terrible the second year. And you could question whether he had lost the team. Frank is not a screamer yeller.
Right.
I think he holds people accountable, and everybody does it in a different way. But I think there is a feeling, I know there was a feeling, especially in the ownership suite, that Frank was not tough enough on his guys, and that was his downfall. Now we see what a terrible coach he is. It took 10 minutes for him to get a new job in Carolina, and he's got the first pick in the draft. So I would suggest that Frank's going to be just fine.
Yeah, he is going to be fine. GM wise, they haven't really done much. And I was reading something the other day where I guess Mr. Irsay is kind of giving him a free ride because he thinks they haven't recovered from Andrew Luck. We talked about Andrew Luck. Do you think that's a pivotal? And obviously it was a pivotal point for the Indianapolis Colts, because if you do not have a quarterback in that league, you're going to lose games. And when Andrew Luck decided to kind of retire in his prime, I mean, it surprised everybody. Have they gotten over that?
Well, I don't think they have, but the Chris Ballard get out of jail free card has expired.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's been we're going on 7 years. They have not won a division in 6-7 years. They've been trying to piecemeal it together for the last couple of years with the likes of Matt Ryan, who was so done. It was a shame because he's a great dude, but he was just finished. So I'm trying to put two and two together here. I kind of lost your question there for a second. I apologize.
Well, it was just heck, I don't even know now. Let's just move on.
All right, let's do that.
It was talking about Jim Irsay and what he said. But my final question to you is, let's go to present day. You say they're going to draft a quarterback, which I'm still not sold on those two guys either. I think you got a lot of work to do. But, I mean, like you said, with Gardner Minshew, he could come in and spell, because I like Gardner. I think he's a guy that guys love to play for, kind of an undersized guy, makes plays. He's not going to put you in a bad situation. But after that, I saw where you lost Stephon Gilmore. Where do they go? Is it defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think so. I think they need a cornerback in the worst way. They can always upgrade on the defensive line, especially at edge. They've got to get themselves a right guard, whether that's through free agency or the draft or whatever. I think they'll probably go on the cheap there because they've spent so much money on their offensive line, and they haven't done anything this year. They didn't do anything last year. They were just abysmal. So, they've got a lot of needs, but I think trading Gilmore the way they did, they definitely are they need a corner in the worst way.
Got you. Well, I'll turn it back over to Plaz. And Bob, I appreciate it, man. Tell Mike Chappell I said what's up when you see him.
I sure will. And maybe I'll remember the question you asked me at some point. This is what happens.
It doesn't matter now. Don't worry about it. We talked through it.
By the way, Bob, AARP just reached out to me. They'll be calling you.
You know, that Fuzzy Zoller guy uses AARP.
Billy, they are dogging the crap out of you.
They sure
I mean,
are.
I understand he's young, but Fuzzy Zeller, like, you got to know who Fuzzy Zeller is. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, he won the Masters.
Why is there an
matter.
O with his last name? There's no O.
Well, I mean, it's his right as an American.
He spells it wrong.
Bob, thank you. Not only good info, but very entertaining.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, good stuff. Bob Kravitz, who writes for The Athletic up in Indianapolis, joining us on the show. I really like the fact that he took a couple of shots. That was great. After the break, Kelly.
Well, if you wouldn't have taken your AARP shot, he might not have taken another dig at me.
Yeah, but that was beautiful. I love that it happened. Okay, after the break, big announcement. Stick around. I think you're going to like it because it involves sports in our city and this beautiful facility that we're in. We'll tell you more, so stick around. We're coming back.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's
Jody Jones has as nice a dental facility as you'll find anywhere. Let's go in and take a look. Are you in the market for a new dentist? Maybe you're new to Nashville? Well, the place to go is Jody Jones Dentistry at 55 Music Square East, and their new facility is absolutely state-of-the-art. Jody mixes quality with comfort for the perfect dental experience. He's trusted for his creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile. Jody is simply the total package. Don't wait. Make an appointment now at 615-259-5100.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to AlacoFineWoodFloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
At Baird, we have a different slant on global financial advice. That global capabilities mean nothing without personal attention. We have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all, yours. Global financial advice with a client-first approach. It's the shape of things to come. Discover the Baird difference at bairdifference.com.
We are back. When I first approached Sean Henry and the folks involved with the Ford Ice Center, Danny Butler, Joel Butcher, Dan Williams, what I wanted out of this, number one, was this beautiful facility that they have, because it's incredible. Really is. If you haven't seen it, you need to come out here. What I wanted to create was a little bit of a partnership where we would do some things to help each other. There's no question that the visibility that our show will get from being here is pretty obvious. But I wanted to do some creative things as well, Kelly, and that's where we're going to lead to this little announcement. And Billy, if you will, go ahead and put the graphic up there, and I'll kind of talk through this a little bit. I want to thank the folks at Wilson Bank and Trust. What we are creating is a summer sports series, if you will. And we're going to have 5 of these that we're going to do. And they're going to be around lunchtime, where a person can get off work, come in here. If they desire to have lunch, they can do that. They got a great restaurant here, Draft Picks Restaurant and Bar, and the food is terrific. Anyway, the first speaker that we will do 5 of these between April the 20th and probably, I don't know, mid-August perhaps. The first one will be the new Predators general manager in waiting, if you will, Barry Trotz, who takes over that position on July the 1st. What I'm going to do is a long-form interview with Barry, and we're going to invite, I guess you could call it, this is a little bit of a stretch, a live studio audience where you all come, be a part of it. We'll have some segments in it where you'll be able to ask Barry questions. So let me show you, we arranged to have one of the cameras show you a little bit of what this restaurant looks like, this beautiful facility in here. Okay, so there you get a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. We're going to take advantage of an absolutely grade A facility to do this from. And we're very proud of this whole idea. Kelly, it's going to work beautifully. And then what we'll do is air these particular days later in the day. It'll be our show. So you'll get a free day off.
Oh, Kelly, you're muted.
Wow.
Is the light blinking on your mic? No? Oh, it says your mic is disconnected.
Well, we got to get him connected.
Oh, man.
This is a tragedy, but we shall overcome. Anyway, I'm not going to announce who the other 4 speakers are yet because I don't have them all nailed down. But suffice it to say, we're really excited about this. Now, this facility will hold somewhere, I don't know, 150 to 200 people comfortably. So let's go back, if we can, to the graphic. If you want to reserve a seat, it's a free event. You decide whether you want to purchase lunch or not, but it's a free event. If you'll do this, this will really help us. If you want to come to this first one, simply email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Let me know how many people will be a part of your coming to it. If you've got 4, let me know it's 4. I'll take care of reserving the seating for you. And the rest, shall we say, will be history. Yeah, we did talk about the food a minute ago, David. If a person comes out here and they want to have lunch, these folks at Draft Picks can get this done in a big old hurry. Good food, by the way, really good food.
Phenomenal food.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And
we've sampled.
We sure have.
Is Kelly back?
Well, I don't think he's back. We're still not hearing Kelly, so we'll have to.
I don't know what's going on. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, he's back.
Good gracious.
Wow.
I didn't touch anything, fellas.
Did you screw something up?
No, I didn't touch anything.
Are you certain of that?
It's Watson's computer is what it is.
No,
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Let me bring in Joel Butcher, who runs the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. And this has been something he and I have been brainstorming on for a little while now. Joel, first of all, thank you for taking the time. This is to me what Nashville sports is all about.
Yeah, it really is. First, sorry about the delay there, but
no problem.
I'm the director of Fordyce, but I just kind of fly the plane. There's a lot more people involved that keeps us in the air. I can tell you that. So it's a great team. Really excited to have you guys on board, and for a lot of the things that you just announced. I think it's huge. It's huge for the Predators organization. It's huge for Fordyce, for our hockey fans. It's a great time. I'm fairly new to Fordyce, and the Nashville Predators. So, one of the things that's interesting is we're proud of our history. We're excited for our present. And we're really looking forward to our future. So, Fordyce, I heard you mention, we have about you can get about 150 people up there in the eating area. Draft Picks, great food, drinks. You can see both rinks. The weekend that you announced, you did make the announcement, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so. Yeah, we're really excited to have Barry Trotz. He's really going to help us go to that next level. And so he's a great speaker, a great person. I've had an opportunity to speak with him a couple of times, and he's very personable. The future's bright with Barry Trotz. And so it's going to be exciting. Your whole series of different speakers is going to be exciting, to bring that to Bellevue Fordyce and to Draft Picks and to kind of showcase what we do at Fordyce. We have figure skating. We have, Olympic coaches in the figure skating world with Scott Hamilton, Paula, who's the director of Fordyce figure skating, and Kristen, she's the director of hockey for Fordyce. And so we've got a lot of great people. So this is an opportunity to showcase what we do. Showcase what you guys do and what you've done in Nashville for 30 plus years. So it's a great partnership. I'm really excited to this. We're going to be announcing it on our newsletter next Monday for the next 2 weeks. A little bit more information about Mr. Trotz coming on and the time and things like that. So follow your Facebook page. I think you guys are going to have some announcements to your Facebook page. So follow the George Plaster Show on Facebook. Follow us at fordice.com, or you can go fordice.com to the Nashville Predators website. And it's game day. So go Preds. We're not out of it yet until the last horn blows in 7 games from now, and then we're into the playoffs. So
it's crazy. Big win last night. They still got a chance. I have no idea how, because it's a group of half of this roster is Milwaukee Admirals right now, and they are playing with such enthusiasm. Now, I was telling Bill Wickett from the Preds earlier, last night is the loudest I have heard Bridgestone in a while, and that was really cool.
Yes, I believe the Admirals are in the playoffs themselves, so it's good that they're up here, right? Because they're bringing streak and that passion and the excitement and the youth. The future is extremely bright no matter what happens, but I see us making the playoffs. That's my hot take right there.
Well, I hope you're right. That would be wonderful. Joel, we have shown, and we'll show it again right now. We've got a camera aimed at Draft Picks Restaurant and Bar to give people an idea of how nice this thing is. This is the
no, it really is. Sorry, yeah, it's a 40-foot bar. Great food. Bobby manages Draft Picks through our partners with DNC, and so it's an amazing sports bar, to be honest with you. I mean, if you were to take this section of Draft Picks and put it on 2nd Avenue, it'd be the hottest sports bar that was down in Nashville. So it's kind of one of those hidden gems, and you're going to help us get it out there and let everybody know about our great sports bar secret that we have at Draft Picks upstairs at Fordyce. If you love hockey, love youth hockey, you can sit there and look out the windows there. You see on the left of the screen there that you can watch games straight from there on our rink number 2. And then we have the Terry Crisp rink. You can put about, I'd say almost 3,000 people in that rink. So that's what kind of our showcase rink, named after Terry Crisp, who is a large figure with the Nashville Predators in the NHL, as you know. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's first class.
Yeah, to say the least. We're thrilled not only to have this a permanent studio home here, but very excited about this. This is the kind of event that I get into, getting people together to talk about sports. There's nothing more I love than doing that. So thank you to you and your staff for helping to create this. There's nothing we have asked for as far as trying to make this work that guy in the right corner hasn't done for us. So Joel, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming on.
Well, I appreciate that. But again, I'm just kind of the pilot, right? There's a lot of people keeping that plane in the air. So I appreciate that. And I'll accept it on behalf of Fordyce and all of our staff, because anything you ask or anybody asks for us, you get the gold standard, right? So all I can say is go Preds, watch the game tonight, and watch some energy. And regardless of what happens at the end of the season, we are extremely excited for the future. Excited to use you as a platform to announce a lot of stuff. You know, we've got the NHL draft coming up. It's one of the reasons why we call it Draft Picks. You can see hanging above there a lot of the different things throughout the drafts and the draft picks that we've had. And we also have the award ceremony coming down Nashville too. So, you know, Nashville puts on a great party. So Bridgestone, again, the best arena in the United States award again. So everything we do is gold standards, and it's a great staff, and everything that you do in the sports world, we're excited because, you know, you kind of bring that gold standard in radio and your guest and your host and everything else. So we're excited. It's going to be awesome. I'm ready for it all.
Kelly, I've got him fooled.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Joel, do you actually know who you're dealing with here, Hoss?
Yeah, it cost me a lot to say that.
Good for you.
Joel, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Kelly, as you know, I've gotten out of the flip phone world.
Yeah, but you still got one of the older ones. But
yeah,
you are out. I'm actually thinking about going back to a flip phone. I'm just over it.
So here's what I want. Okay. Seating in this is limited. It's not like we can put 15,000 in the house. I'm not going to say that, but we're going to try to get 150, 200 people for this first one and really show our sponsor, Wilson Bank and Trust, that, you know, it was worth them getting involved in it. So I've put it out there. My email address is plastergeorge@gmail.com. Billy, if you will, go ahead and put the graphic back up there. And I'm hoping during the break that somebody will email me and say, yes, I want to come to this free event. It is free. And if you want lunch, you simply buy it up there at Draft Picks Restaurant and Bar. So we'll go to the break, and then it's Stat of the Day. Oh, yeah. Stay tuned. We're coming back.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? How?
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications, and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you. This is my buddy and former Nashville Sounds PA announcer Eric Berner. I always laughed in the old days at Greer Stadium when I would walk in, Eric would immediately play my favorite song, Van Halen's Jump. But then I learned he actually has a real job with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors.
Yeah, George, that's what I do. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. Everybody's situation is different, so I use a customized and individualized, personalized approach to the person I'm working with. Old 401ks, retirement planning, insurance planning, inheritance planning. Those are things that people like to get some more information about.
One of the things I find is people don't even know where to start, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, so I can usually help people with an initial phone call or meeting that is a no charge and no obligation.
And I'll bet you have a phone number and a website.
I do, George. They can call me at 615-235-1058 or rockcastlewealth.com or Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Welcome to John English Antique Sports and Cards, located at 204 East Depot Street in beautiful downtown Shelbyville, Tennessee. Their phone number is area code 931-492-4304. John, obviously, I've been blown away by what I've seen at your place. I've now been there 3 times. But for the person who's never been, what should they expect?
Well, we have a 3,000 square foot store, George. Half of it is vintage cards in all sports, and then half of the store is, a lot of people call it the museum, where there's a lot of early equipment and just the history of sports in general: baseball, football, basketball, golf, tennis, and other items.
When somebody comes in there that you know is a big sports fan, what is their normal reaction?
Well, I think that they're pleasantly surprised, and of course, being in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is a small town that you would never expect a shop like we have to be in. So they're kind of, I don't want to say blown away, but as I said, pleasantly surprised.
Welcome back in. We have hit 3 o'clock, and that means it's time for Stat of the Day. We'll see if we got a little bit easier of a question for Kelly and George today. Brought to you by John English Antique Sports and Cards. You can find them in Shelbyville. Give them a call at 931-492-4304. All right, let's check it out. Stat of the Day, and we're going NFL. Patrick Mahomes won his second career NFL MVP award in 2022, receiving 48 of 50 first-place votes. There have only been 2 players in NFL history to unanimously win the NFL MVP award. Can you name those 2 players?
Oh, Lord. Let me ask this question. How long has this award been given?
It's a really good question, but the 2 winners have been since 2010. So they have been recent.
Oh.
How about that for a hint?
So Peyton.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Is Peyton Manning one of the 2?
Really?
What the hell?
I mean, I'm getting like here's the deal. Like
that.
this stat of the day is like it's getting me anxious.
Well, first of all, when you didn't just say maybe Peyton, you just Peyton.
No, I mean,
Okay,
I thought
so
like
go ahead and gong him again.
Again?
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, that's fine. Gong me again. Who cares?
Okay.
Is one of them in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, in the last 5.
You think Lamar Jackson there, George?
You know what? I like where you're going with that. I initially thought Russell Wilson, but now that I think about it, he's never won it. Lamar Jackson, is he there?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Hallelujah.
Is there no hand clap? There we go.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah. Would it have to be Tom Brady?
Let's go, Tom Brady. I like that.
Oh boy, Kelly.
Well done.
Yeah. Anxiety ridden. I mean, I got on here today, anxiety ridden about stat of the day.
Kelly, explain to me exactly what that chain is that Lamar has on. Do you have one?
I can honestly say I do not have one of those, George.
Right.
It wouldn't be right on me.
That's a big old chain.
Now, Billy might have one or David might have one. I do not.
Right. Okay.
Billy has no drip
I'm
like
sure
that.
you've got his suit there, George. That
Yeah,
kinda looks
George
like-
definitely has that color of a suit.
Where did you find that picture?
On the internet somewhere.
Very colorful.
Very.
Orange, purple, and a big old chain.
I think Lamar Jackson's the only guy that could pull that off.
Well,
think
some
you're
other
right.
guys probably can pull it off, but he does well with it.
By the way, boys and girls, I'm reading it today, but next week we've got a great graphic for this. Kelly Holcomb's World of Football, shockingly, is brought to you in part by Baird Financial with Yaz Hassan and Justin Oldham, and by State Farm Insurance, located in Murfreesboro, through agent Celeste Middleton.
Kelly was shaking his head there.
Yaz Hassan.
Hassan.
Okay.
Hassan.
Yeah.
Yaz Hassan.
How did I say it?
I don't know how you said it, but you butchered
Okay.
it.
Okay.
It's like,
well, that's fine.
it's like Zoller.
Oh, so we're going there, are we? Okay, fine. How much, just out of curiosity? I mean, this has your name on it.
Yeah.
How many minutes of preparation did you do? 5?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought about it this morning before you called me.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Not
thinking
a
about
lot.
all that.
Not a
I wrote
lot.
it down.
Okay, that's good.
I told you it was going to be quarterback. It was going to be quarterback heavy, quarterback friendly.
This is
Perfect.
as in your backyard as it gets. So you have not yet, I think, revealed whether you, as the general manager, would pick CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Which one would you go with? And for you, is it an easy decision or nothing more than a coin flip?
I don't know if it's a coin flip. I'm a Bryce Young guy. I like Bryce Young. He's undersized. I get sick of the size comparison. I always get sick of that. But he played at Alabama last year. If they don't have Bryce Young, I don't know how many games they win. That was when the other kid came in. Against Texas A&M. That was hard to watch.
There's a little drop off.
Yeah, there's a real big drop off. He had no offensive line. They couldn't protect him. He does a really good job of being aware. I think his emotions are what gets me. I mean, I think his dad is a psychologist. So he's never up and down. He never gives you anything. When he beat Auburn on the last drive of the game 2 years ago they had done nothing all day. Auburn's defensive line just wore Alabama's offensive line out the whole day.
Mashed them.
And for what he did on that last drive, that kind of cemented it for me. The guy's something special. Now, I think C.J. Stroud's something special as well. I mean, I think he's going to have a good career too, and I think they're totally different. I think C.J. Stroud is an unbelievable pocket passer. He's accurate with the football. He can run. He's not going to run much. I I use Bryce Young in the category I use Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a guy that he's very opportunistic when he runs the football. He's not running to run. He's running to throw, but when you give him the opportunity to run, he can run. I mean, that's what Bryce Young does. CJ Stroud, he can do a little bit of that, but he's a pocket guy. I think that's what's coming into play now when you look at Frank Reich. He's used to bigger guys. They've moved up to the first pick. I think that's where that's coming from. But to me, all day, I don't know what you think about it. I've never heard what your thoughts are, and I'd like to get that too. What are your thoughts on these two guys? Because for me, it's Bryce Young.
For me, it's Bryce Young. I just think there is an it factor to this kid that is dramatic. But I'm going to ask you this, though, because you kind of went off about the whole size and they're frail and whatever. Yeah. Is it that you get tired of hearing it, or do you think it has no merit?
I just get tired of hearing it. I really do. I mean, Doug Flutie, he's way back before. I'm sure Billy's got a different pronunciation of his name, but
wow,
these guys.
Doug Flutie.
These guys. These guys.
How you pronounce Flutie wrong?
Well, but I mean, he's a 1980s guy, and you've kind of struggled.
Russell Wilson is not a very big guy. I mean, he's thick, but he's not a very big guy. He's 5'11". I mean, Drew Brees was not very big. I'm 6'3", and all these guys say, well, it has something. Well, I had a guy that I played with that was 6'7", that his shoulders were 3 feet wide. I can't see over that guy. When you're a quarterback and when the offensive and defensive line make contact with each other, you see through holes in the defense. So, the Kyler Murrays of the world, the Doug Fluties of the world, the Drew Breeses of the world, the Bryce Youngs of the world. I mean, he's like he said in his interview, he's been this way all his life. He's learned how to deal with it. He sees through holes in the gap of the defense, and he does that better than most young guys do. I mean, he keeps his emotions intact. I just think the guy is really a guy that can, that can play for a while. I don't think when he does get hit, he's one of those guys that don't get hit really hard. When I was in Cleveland, we had a tight end, and man, every time he got hit, he just got murdered. It was unbelievable. And some guys can take that stuff, but like Bryce Young is one of those guys that you can have a straight shot on him, and he gets out. He can get out of the way. He can get down. Marvin Harrison was like that. Marvin's not going to take a big shot, and when he could get the yardage that he could get, he's getting down. So I get tired of hearing all that stuff, because if a guy's a player, and I think if you look at Kyler Murray, you look at Bryce Young, you look at Baker Mayfield, which kind of dropped off a little bit, but he's, if you can play, you can play. And that's what I wish guys, well, he's the prototypical quarterback. Well, what does that mean? I know it is 6'4", 250. I get it. Or a guy like Peyton, who's 6'5", 230, 240. Tim Couch, 6'4", 6'5". I mean, I get it. I understand that, but not everybody's like that, but they still can play.
Drew Brees. He's the poster child.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Okay, let's go close to home, because last night, not that I'm into trending, but I happened to notice it, that Ryan Tannehill and the trade rumors are trending. Number one, do you think they should trade him? And number two, is Malik Willis fixable?
Those are two tough questions, George. I've always told you, I like Ryan Tannehill. He was a first-round pick out of Texas A&M. He went to the Dolphins, didn't work out there. We talked yesterday with Tony Basilio talking about timing. Everything's timing. And it just didn't work out for him in Miami. He came here. He sat and watched a little bit, and then when his time came, he did well. I mean, he's kind of the perfect guy for the Mike Vrabel offense if you want a passer. I like Ryan. I think he's tough, but when they were number one in the AFC a couple of years ago, they had Cincinnati at home. he didn't come through. And, there's a lot of things. He threw a couple of interceptions. Hey, everybody throws interceptions, but nobody knows until you're internally and you're in the building. Like, did the receiver run the right route? Did he get his proper depth? Was it a hot route that one of the guys made? We don't know that. So I'm always been a big Tannehill guy. I don't know if you should trade him. Even if you draft a guy, I think he's a guy that's shown he can do it. I know that the fans are ready to turn the page on him from what it sounds like. I'm not sure about Malik Willis. I went up to Liberty not too long ago to watch my daughter play basketball. Just on a side note, that's maybe the prettiest campus and the prettiest indoor facility I've ever seen in college football. It's all glass. He went there for a couple of years, guys. But it says a lot.
Thank you for enlightening us on that, Kelly.
Exactly.
Do you think Billy knows how to pronounce his name?
Well, I don't know.
Malik
Who
Willis?
knows? We're finding out a lot about Billy today.
Wow, what a cheap shot.
David out of left field.
Wow, you helped him get this job, didn't you?
Man, no favors.
Oof.
But I think it says
it is.
You're making me lose my train of thought, Billy. I mean, that's not very hard to do if you keep talking
Well,
to me.
you were telling us about Liberty. I enjoyed that.
I just had a little side note there.
Give me Liberty or give me Malik Willis.
But Malik, it says a lot when you bring a guy in and you start him when you're having to win a last game to get somewhere and you don't play the guy that we drafted. And Jason Dobbs, when they brought him in and they put him in front of Malik Willis, and Jason Dobbs played pretty good, so I think that's saying a lot. I'm not sure if you can fix him. They don't want to have egg on their face. That's what every organization, when they draft a kid, they're going to give him every opportunity. Obviously, they didn't think he was ready. And they went after a guy that's been in the league for a little bit. And I don't know if it's fixable, but, if you go out and you get like an Anthony Richardson, I can see them doing that because I think the way Mike Vrabel wants to play offense is play smash mouth football, as we've seen, throw a couple of play actions. And I think a guy like a Lamar Jackson, which they're not going to go out and get, but maybe an Anthony Richardson where you can build a team around. Plus, he's a big guy. He can run around a little bit. He can play, he can do the zone read stuff where he can give it or pull it. So maybe that's in the future for the Titans. Who knows? That's what makes the draft so exciting.
Okay, let's get to the Prince of Darkness, Aaron Rodgers. So we're all going to assume that this trade eventually will happen. So, Kelly, the Jets' belief is, man, we get Aaron Rodgers and we're cooking with gas. Are they really? Are they automatically at that point better than Buffalo?
I think they are cooking with gas, George. I really do. I think, they got Alan Lazard from Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
There've been talks about him trying to get OBJ, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It sounds like I think did the Ravens give him a contract offer? I'm not sure.
Yep.
I know he's been, Buffalo Bills have been looking at him. So I don't know. I think defensively they're set up. They've got some good young talent. I think he would fit in really well there. I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. Do we know what the holdup is? Obviously, it's contract. We're going to get, what the best offer for.
Yeah, they want the
Green Bay
Jets' first-round draft pick, and the Jets don't appear to be willing to give it, and they're in a little bit of a stalemate, and who knows what ultimately breaks the dam open.
Everybody always talks about leverage.
It'd be hilarious if Aaron Rodgers had to go back to Green Bay. Can you imagine that?
I think that – you think that bridge has already been burned?
Napalmed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like that. I don't think he would go back just to save face, but I don't know. If you're looking at it, the Jets are I think they're young. I think they got a lot of good young talent. I mean, if they think the window is right now for them to go out and get that, why not give a first-round pick? I mean, the guy is, not last year, but the year before removed from an MVP year. So I I think it would be great for the Jets to get him. I think I've told you this before, but I think he is, in my opinion, he is now this is we can argue about this, but I think he's the greatest quarterback, athleticism wise, throwing the ball. Hadn't had enough Super Bowl wins, but to me, I would take Aaron Rodgers over a lot of folks. And I know he hadn't won like Peyton won. I know he hadn't won like Tom Brady's won, but just mere talent. The dude, I think he's on him. I think he's there by himself. I really do.
Okay, let's go down to the bottom of the list to Dak Prescott. He catches a lot of grief, that he got this huge money from Jerry, and he's delivered to a certain level, but not to Super Bowl kind of stuff. Is the criticism of him fair or unfair?
Well, I think it's starting to get fair. This league, every professional league, you've got to produce, and they're getting guys around him. If they get a running back this year, they're talking about Jerry moving up, maybe getting the kid from the running back from Texas, University of Texas, but
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson. Yeah, I've always been a huge Dak Prescott fan, just like I'm a Ryan Tannehill fan. I like the fact that he got drafted in the 4th round. Anybody that can take the Mississippi State Bulldogs to the #1 ranking in the country, that says something. It says a lot. And I think that guys genuinely love Dak Prescott. I'm just wondering how this relationship is going to be between he and Mike McCarthy, with Mike McCarthy, calling plays. Kellen Moore obviously, left and went somewhere else. I can understand why Mike McCarthy did it, because if he's going down calling his own plays. I totally understand that.
Yep.
I do think it's fair, because Dak, you got to produce, and they're putting people at his disposal with wide receivers, with running backs, with guys that can, with his tight ends, with guys that can make plays. He got hurt the year before, but last year got hurt a little. They brought Cooper Rush in. Cooper Rush played well. They brought Dak back. He can't really get him over the hump, and he didn't really play well. And when he played against San Francisco, now San Francisco is a different monster, because they got guys up front that can get pressure on you with 4 guys, and they have got a defense that is really stacked, but he didn't play good at all. And those are the games that kind of define your career. You've got to get over that. Steve Young had to get past, the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s, he could not get past, and everybody was, talking about that. He could not get past Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. Couldn't get past them with the Ken Nortons. And there's some definable moments in your career. And, Dak Prescott has got to start winning games. He's got to start winning big games, not just regular season games, but when they go to the playoffs, which has been a struggle for them since, the early 90s. And I'm sure Jerry Jones thought, when he had Jimmy Johnson and he was winning all those Super Bowls, man, this is easy. They haven't sniffed it, since that time. So I think Dak has got to, I don't know if, that's what happens, George, a lot of times when you get a lot of money. It's great to get all that money, but when you get a lot of money,
you better
a lot
deliver.
of pressure comes with that
Yes.
money. And people that are paying tickets, that are paying hundreds of dollars to come watch you play, and they start booing you, hey, that's their right. And if you're not producing, he's not doing that right now. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens this year with Mike McCarthy going to play call and seeing if that has a difference with it. But he's probably got one more year to see what he can do.
Mark McGee's in the on-deck circle. We're going to talk Preds hockey with him in just a minute. Billy, how did you grade Kelly's World of Football?
I'd say A-.
A-.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Pretty good. I thought you were going to give me like a D, because I've been busting your chops all day.
Hold on a second. David, what was your grade?
I'll give him an A. He came prepared and ready to go, so I like it.
Why an A as opposed to an A-? What was the minus?
The minus for me was he said Jason Dobbs instead of Josh Dobbs.
Oh,
Josh Dobbs. My bad, Josh Dobbs. Sorry.
Yeah.
We make
Although
mistakes.
Jason called in and was thrilled that you brought him up. Okay.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. After the break, Mark McGee. But first, let's talk a little Action 24/7. NBA playoffs are coming right now at Action 24/7. Use the promo code George. Get a 300% deposit match up to $20 on your first deposit. Action 24/7 is Tennessee's only locally owned and operated sports book. That's right. If you got questions, they've got answers, and they'll do that for you quickly because they are neighbors who live in Tennessee who want to be good Tennesseans. Download the app or visit action247.com to start all that winning, and please bet responsibly.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685. I know it's getting colder. You're not thinking about golf. However, if you're planning an event for next year, let me suggest golf through Riverside Golf Links. The course has improved dramatically. It's perfect for hosting a corporate or a charitable outing. They've got everything in place to make your event a rousing success. To get more info, call 615-847-5074 or go online to riversidegolflinks.com.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Oh, it is time to say hello to Guy.
Hello.
Formal name, Mark McGee.
Hello. Yeah.
Guy, how are you?
Kelly, good to see you out there. So we trained Kelly really well on our radio show. He sent us, I gave him an A on what he's done today.
Appreciate it, Mark. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Usually you're great for putting over Gary on our show every Saturday on Saturdays.
Oh, I know. You talking about rib somebody bad now, George? It's really bad.
Yes. George gets a break compared to what you did to Gary Derry. So
wow.
That's for sure. That's true. What about those Preds?
So, Guy, let me ask it this way. If we want this team to get in the playoffs, Calgary has to beat Winnipeg tonight, correct?
Well, I don't know. Which one do you cheer for? I'm not sure about that. I think Winnipeg might want Winnipeg to lose that game to Calgary because that would cut the points down a little bit there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If Calgary wins to go to 89.
Mm-hmm.
Winnipeg's at 89. Both would then have played one more game than the Preds. The Preds have to win tomorrow night against Carolina to get to 88. Guy, if those two things happen, then who knows?
That's true. Winnipeg, it's just unpredictable. But you look at who the Predators have in front of them: Carolina, Winnipeg on the road, Calgary on the road. 2 huge games if it gets that close. Minnesota here, and the Avs here. One thing I'm thinking of is maybe Minnesota and Colorado at the last 2 games, getting ready for the playoffs, go like, well, we're going to start a backup goaltender. We're going to slack off some guys or whatever, give them some rest for the playoffs. Maybe that gives the Predators a chance to win those last 2 games there. A lot of people were saying they have to win all 5 to make it. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be. Because you got to look what these other teams have. Winnipeg and the Predators both have the same amount of games left, which there's no more games in hand, and there's no tiebreaker. So Nashville's going to have to be a point ahead of them to make it to the playoffs.
That's a good point that you've brought up there. Last night, I thought was the loudest I have heard Bridgestone in a long time. And that tells me that the energy that these young kids are bringing is being noticed.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, it's look at Tommy Novak last night, 2 goals and assist. That he's one of those guys who was in Milwaukee earlier on, but Novak's got 40-something points, and he's got
16 goals.
46 games, 41 points in 46 games. So it's he's one of the guys that's come up. It's going to be interesting. A lot of people are thinking, you got guys like Tomasino who are back up, finally earning their spot back up from Milwaukee, and Evangelista's playing well. Look at Evangelista, not an expected player to do well. And so you got guys like that. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen, when next season, when these other guys come back. Well, it's going to be a very competitive training camp, I would think. With these new guys are showing a lot. Tommy Novak wasn't on the roster out of preseason games last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how these new guys challenge the older guys this time around, especially Barry Trotz doing his evaluations.
What do you think the older guys who are not able to play because of injury are thinking as they watch this and they see these young guys bringing an enthusiasm that, frankly, on certain nights they weren't bringing?
Well, I think they were thinking they're going to have to practice in the off season and come in with a whole new attitude in September, because I think that these guys are hungry, they're ready to play. I mean, Stasny, Spencer Stastny came in. He endured all kinds of heartbreak that day to get here. I mean, planes, trains, and automobiles almost completely. He should have had John Candy with him or something on the trip. But so I mean, these guys are hungry. They want to play, and I think that miraculously, Milwaukee, even though they've got 8 or 9 players in Nashville, are still going to make the playoffs with the Calder Cup now.
Yeah, that's what's crazy to me. The Admirals are still rolling while half their team is on the Preds.
I have no idea how.
And they've got some injury problems, too. They got 2 or 3 injuries there, too, as well. So, it was a wild crowd last night. And I think, it's still there. It's still a possibility. It's still there. So, I mean, I just, it gets thinner every time. But, they surprise you. Winning that in overtime last night, 3-2. That's who would have thought they might. They gave it the 2-0 lead, and then wound up winning in overtime on the power play goal. So I mean, it's just it's hard to predict what they're going to do. It's hard to predict.
Let's go to Novak for a second. This is a young guy who it appears they have hit gold on, pun intended.
Yeah.
16 goals in part-time, play in Nashville. He wasn't on this roster at the beginning. Has he guaranteed himself a spot next year?
I would think they're going to have to give him a long look next year. So I said these older guys are going to have to move these older guys out probably to find him a spot. But I think that he's definitely going to be challenging. And how can you not give him a shot after what he's done? I mean, he's one of the guys that's kept this team alive when all the injuries came up and everything else is going on. I mean, you got some guys like Colson Sissons who have been helping with the team a lot. And Ryan McDonald's been helping a lot to keep this team going. The young guys are doing well, and Novak is the main new guy that's doing so well right now.
Give me this thought real quickly. First of all, UC has played out of his mind, and he's been playing out of his mind for a good while now.
Where they are.
Then Lankinen last night really does a good job in a backup role, gets a start and gets a win. But then you've got a hot shot on the minor league level, Askarov.
Mm-hmm.
So does Barry Trotz use that as a trade bait?
Oh, I don't think you trade Askarov away. I don't think you trade him. I mean, stranger things have happened, but he is a talent as a goaltender. He's an heir apparent, I would think, to Saros. And, I almost think you trade Saros if you're going to trade goaltenders and let Lankinen school Askarov next year, because Lankinen has played solid this year. I mean, he's been a more solid backup than what they've had in recent times. So I don't know. I think Askarov would be a tough trade. I would have reluctance to trade him,
but would bring an absolute haul.
Yeah, but Saros would too.
Oh, no doubt about it. So Kelly Holcomb. Do you think he knows anything about hockey?
Kelly, you know anything about hockey? I don't know. We never talk about hockey.
Y'all need to educate me. I'm still trying to figure out icing.
Okay.
So probably not.
Icing is too easy to explain. So, no, it's you're right. Like when the Atlanta Flames came to the National Hockey League, fans cheered when icing was called.
I want to know this, Mark. Like, cut to the chase. Are they going to make the playoffs or not?
Who knows? I'm not betting on it. I mean, I would hate to bet on it right now because, like I said, they surprise you. And that's a rough road they've got ahead of them. But I'm just thinking that maybe the Jets and Calgary are going to be giving them all they have. And the Hurricanes are the second best team in the NHL behind the Bruins, I think, and behind the Boston Bruins. And, but I'm just hoping maybe if it gets close, they still get a couple of games left at the Wild and Avs. So we're going to rest some guys and give us a rest for the playoffs. We're already in, and we're pretty much seated where we're going to be. So, and that gives maybe the Predators a chance to ease in and get those 2 wins right there. So, especially being at home for both those games. So, it's going to be interesting to see. Tough road games in Winnipeg and Calgary. Those are going to decide a lot. And every game, they always say must-have games. Well, the must-have games start in October. They definitely are must-have games now because the time is running out. That's not an answer to your question, Kelly, but I can't give you an answer.
I mean, yeah. Well, the last time I tuned in the last time I tuned in, I'm tuning in now, but the last time I tuned in, everybody said the Predators were out of it. They had too many injuries. They had too many injuries. So now, obviously, young guys are coming on. So, with that being said, with the young guys, what happens to some of these older guys that are coming back? I mean, we're going to get let go, and they're going to have young guys step in their place for next year.
I think you might see some trading going on, maybe around the draft time.
Okay.
David Poyle, I guess, will still be part of the draft group, and David Poyle's been known to make some really, really big trades during the draft, and lots of times he makes them. Nobody on the table knows he's done it till they announce it. So I would say that might be maybe those other guys are currency for that. But you've got guys like Duchesne and Johansson who are making so much money. It's going to be hard to get anybody to take them, especially them being injured and not having great seasons this year. So I don't know what will happen there. I really don't. So they may have to pay part of their salaries to get them out of there.
I got you. So are you like George? Do you go to every home game?
I try to. It's been a little bit different. It's been challenging this year because of some family problems, but with my mother's health, but I try to go. I've been a season ticket. I started out as a reporter covering all the games, made the first road trip with them, and traveled with them quite a bit the first 2 or 3 years. And I worked for the Associated Press, covered most of the games, and then I've been a season ticket holder for like 3 or 4 years now.
So when we gonna get you to a women's Lipscomb basketball game?
I've been to more than my show.
I haven't seen you there. I
haven't been there recently. No, that's true. So, but I've been keeping up with Jalen, how she's been doing, so how she did. So, and that's the
best year ever.
They had a great season. They really did. 20 wins. That's tremendous from that standpoint. So, she's done really well there. The coach has done really well there. She's building that program back up. And I need to do a better job of that. But my travel schedule's been kind of weird because of some problems I'm having to deal with here. But I try to go to all the games. I miss more this year than I missed combined for all the seasons they've been here. So.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to that. Tell Gary Deering and them boys I said what's up.
I will do that. They'll be proud we mentioned their name.
He was mad the other day because I was on George. They were They were upset because I'm on your show, and I told them that they didn't pay me. You're paying me, so.
Yeah, George was on right after you were.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he got mad because they had found out that I was coming on your show for 3.5 months, and I'd been on their show for how long have I been coming on there for? 10 years.
A lot of years. I don't know how many.
I mean, the first time I met those guys, they didn't even know who I was. I showed up at the Murphy Center, and I'm like, I'm Kelly, and they go, "Oh, you're Kelly." I'm like, "Wow."
I wasn't there at that one. I know
you weren't there. They were upset because I told them that they didn't pay. George paid.
That's true. That's true. He doesn't pay me, but he pays.
Hey, money, baby, money.
Girls.
Yeah. We're quickly talk about the injury situation. Roman Yossi, everybody thought he might play last night, and he didn't. It's been really hard to tell what's going on with the players from a practice standpoint because they're not practicing much. There's been so many games, and they're really practicing much. Yossi were on the road with them, and he was wearing a non-contact jersey, and everybody thought, well, he might play it. But right now, he's the only one anybody's talking about coming back and playing. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens these last 5 games.
By the way, The Athletic lists the Predators' playoff odds at 8%, so roughly 1 in 12.5. Well, I got news for them.
Wow.
If Calgary were to win tonight, these are big ifs, and if the Predators were to win tomorrow night against Carolina, that number has to jump huge.
Well, winning against Carolina is a big if too. I mean, Carolina.
No kidding.
Carolina, I said, right behind Boston, they're the best team in the NHL right now.
A lot of ifs there, Kelly.
A lot of ifs.
A lot of them.
But I will say, I will quote the football coach that said, if ifs or whatever, ifs it's just
Candy
whatever.
and nuts.
Yeah, just.
Candy for nuts. We all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You got
Absolutely.
Parcells' favorite saying is, no, I don't know. It's gonna be. I would hate to have money on them right now in Vegas as to whether they're going to make it or not. Because I mean, I hope they will. I mean, they really, when you look at the fact they've gone to playoffs so many years in a row, they're one of the top teams in the league as far as consistency goes. They just don't get very far when they get in there, So, so I would like to see them go back this year for sure. But
here's the one thing: the schedule indicates it is in their hands.
Oh yeah, it is. It's up to them. I mean, if they can win these games, they'll be okay from that standpoint. So, but like you and I were talking the other day, I don't know how confident they are because nobody's saying anything about playoff tickets yet.
That is interesting.
You brought that up. I hadn't thought about it. You brought it up the other day.
Those playoff invoices?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No,
Not yet.
Usually they send you the tickets, say, hey, go ahead and order them, and we don't play, we get that money back or whatever. They haven't done anything yet.
Make a contribution.
Yeah.
Thank you as always.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Kelly, good to see you on there. Look forward to talking to you every week, at least for the next few weeks anyway.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Mark McGee joining us on the show. After the break, Plaster Bet of the Day. Not a pretty picture.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Jody Jones has as nice a dental facility as you'll find anywhere. Let's go in and take a look. Are you in the market for a new dentist? Maybe you're new to Nashville? Well, the place to go is Jody Jones Dentistry at 55 Music Square East. And their new facility is absolutely state-of-the-art. Jody mixes quality with comfort for the perfect dental experience. He's trusted for his creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile. Jody is simply the total package. Don't wait. Make an appointment now at 615-259-5100.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
At Baird, we have a different slant on global financial advice. That global capabilities mean nothing without personal attention. We have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all, yours. Global financial advice with a client-first approach. It's the shape of things to come. Discover the Baird difference at bairdifference.com.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? How?
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Let's see where Plaz is going tonight. Plaster's Bet of the Day is coming up, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Best in the business. They are lawyers you can trust. Give them a call at 615-242-9000 or log on to bartdurham.com. All right, Kelly, you ready to check out what happened last night for Plaz?
Oh, he got slaughtered.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hawks were all over the Bulls last night.
All over them.
The Hawks with no Trae Young last night.
Yeah, what is that about?
Yeah, good pick, George.
Thank you. Kelly, appreciate your confidence. I can
fast.
tell you're behind me, win or tie.
Now you're in the losers bracket, big dog.
Consolation game.
Maybe it's time for Kelly's Bet of the Day.
Yeah, here's the thing. I've been there before. Let's see how good you are.
No, hey, this is your segment. You go with it.
Okay, here we go.
And look at this, Kelly. I've got a graphic for it. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So tonight he's going against the Bulls.
Yeah, that's not going to work either.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you doing? Like, this is
all a spite.
A little bit it is.
What, is Giannis not playing or something?
Do what?
Is Giannis not going to play or something?
Oh, no.
No, he's
this
playing.
Greek picks that Greek, he's going to play. I think.
From one Greek to another.
Absolutely.
You're going to be 150 and 150. You're going to be 150 and 152 tomorrow, Hoss.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, a couple of things before we go, Kelly, and appreciate your positivity. Let's see. The Braves won today in St. Louis. They swept a 3-game series at Busch.
That's big.
That is big, big, big.
Big.
Got a really good pitched game from Bryce Elder. And that's an important name right now as they're kind of searching for starting pitching. Bryce Elder is a guy that proved at the end of the year he can do it. Hopefully he's proving it again. Now, before we get out of here, For those of you who didn't see this announcement earlier, here's the deal. We have put together, through the folks at Wilson Bank and Trust, what we're calling a summer sports speaker series. And what we're going to do with this is invite, I don't know if the word studio audience is the right thing, but we're going to invite you all to watch what will be about an hour and 15-minute interview with Barry. We will have a couple of the segments reserved for you all to ask questions. This beautiful facility that we're in, Draft Picks Restaurant and Bar, probably will hold a little over 150. If you push it, maybe close to 200. So seating will be somewhat limited. So you need to hurry. If you know you want to be a part of this, go ahead and RSVP. Let me know how many people are in your party. Simply email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com, and that will reserve your seating. Now, this is during lunchtime, so those of you who work, you'll have the opportunity to come, enjoy this, and then get back to work. And you can order lunch while you're here. They do a really good job with their food. And so we're very excited about this. Hope you'll be a part of it. Email me. Let me know you're coming. Kelly, do not email me.
George, you do a great job. You do a great job with your bowling tournament, but please tell me that you're not going to give the guests your puke yellow shirt.
Oh, he's handed it out a few times
already.
already.
Believe?
Puke.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, can we get another shirt for that next year, like another color?
Are you saying that what the Predators wear?
Oh, I'm not talking about the Predators. I'm not talking about the Predators.
Well,
I know it's that
going.
color. I'm not talking about the Predators. They're an NHL team. I'm talking about your bowling tournament.
Well, you just lighten up, pal. Clean up your attitude before tomorrow. Tomorrow on the show, Mark Griffin is going to join us for one final shining moment as we talk a little bit more college basketball. And then we're trying to get Danny Evans to join us tomorrow during the 3 o'clock hour. It's up in the air, but if he joins us, nobody knows baseball more than Danny Evans. Kelly, improve your attitude. We'll see you tomorrow.
See y'all.